Have you ever met someone and within minutes, it felt like your entire soul was being pulled toward them? Not just attraction, but something deeper, something almost fated. What if I told you that feeling isn't love? What if it's something far more dangerous? And before you scroll away, stay with me, because this might explain patterns in your life you've never been able to break. If this hits something inside you, I want you to remember that feeling. You'll need it by the end. Music shift. This isn't about blaming you. It's not about saying you chose wrong. It's about understanding what's been choosing for you without your awareness. And I'll explain exactly how that works. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. This might be one of the most important psychological insights you'll ever hear about love. Carl Jung believed that when we fall in love obsessively, when we lose ourselves in another person, we are not actually seeing them clearly. We are seeing ourselves. More specifically, the parts of ourselves we've never met. Research in depth psychology suggests that intense romantic attraction is often tied to projection, a process where the unconscious mind casts hidden aspects of ourselves onto another person. Jung called this the animus in women, a hidden masculine energy, strength, direction, logic, power. And here's where it gets dangerous. If you've never developed that part within yourself, you will chase it in someone else. And you won't just be attracted to them, you'll be possessed by them. Now here's the part nobody tells you. This isn't random. It follows a pattern. Let me break it down into 3 stages. Stage 1, projection. You meet someone, and suddenly they seem perfect. Not because they are, but because your mind fills in the gaps with everything you've been missing inside. Stage 2, attachment. You don't just want them, you need them. Because losing them feels like losing a part of yourself. And in a way, it is. Stage 3, disillusionment. Reality starts to leak in. They pull away. They don't meet your expectations. And instead of seeing them clearly, you try harder. You love more. You give more, hoping to bring back the illusion. But here's the catch. That illusion was never real. Music deepens. Now pay attention, because this is where it gets even deeper. Why do you keep being drawn to emotionally unavailable men? Cold men, distant men you have to earn love from. This is what Jung and later psychologists point to as repetition compulsion. Your unconscious mind is trying to replay an old wound, often from childhood. Some studies suggest that early emotional dynamics, especially with caregivers, shape the blueprint of what love feels like. So if love once felt inconsistent, unpredictable, or something you had to work for, your mind will recreate that, not to hurt you, but to try to fix it. And here's the painful twist. You're not trying to save him, you're trying to save a younger version of yourself. Through him, let that sink in. Music pause. So how do you know if this is happening to you? Here are the signs. And be honest with yourself. You feel instant, overwhelming attraction. You ignore red flags, even when you see them. You believe you can heal or fix him. You feel anxious when he pulls away. You overgive, hoping he'll finally choose you. You feel addicted, not peaceful. You confuse intensity with connection. And deep down, you're afraid that without him, you are incomplete. If that sounds familiar, then this isn't just love. It's a psychological pattern. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. The more you abandon yourself, the more you will chase someone who does the same. Music shift. But this is where everything changes. Because Jung left us with a warning. A sentence that can either wake you up or keep you stuck forever. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Read that again. It means, if you don't understand what's happening inside you, you will keep repeating the same relationship with different faces, calling it destiny, calling it bad luck, calling it love. But it's not. It's your shadow running the show. Music rises slowly. So what do? How do you stop loving too much and start loving consciously? You don't fix him. You don't chase closure. You don't try harder. You turn inward. This is what Jung called individuation, becoming whole. And it starts with one powerful shift. You stop projecting and you start reclaiming. Ask yourself this: what do I see in him that I don't allow in myself? Confidence? Strength? Independence? Then build it inside you. And then ask, what triggers me most about him? His distance? His coldness? His unpredictability? Because those are often mirrors of wounds you haven't healed yet. Here's a simple exercise. Take 2 minutes. Write down 3 things you admire about him. Then ask, how can I develop this in myself? Then write 3 things that hurt you. And ask, where have I felt this before? Not with him, before him. This is how you break the cycle. Not by finding a better man, but by becoming a whole woman. Music softens, because real love doesn't feel like chaos. It doesn't feel like addiction. It doesn't feel like survival. It feels like freedom. And here's the truth most people avoid. You don't find your missing half. You become complete. And then you choose someone not to complete you, but to walk beside you. Music fades. Now I want you to be honest. Not with me, with yourself. Which part of this hit you the hardest? Was it the projection, the pattern, or the realization that this wasn't love, but a reflection? Tell me your story in the comments. Not a short answer, the real one, because someone else reading it might finally understand their own life through yours. But because it means something false is dissolving, and something real is finally beginning. You are not losing love. You are losing attachment to an illusion and making space for something grounded, something mutual, something real. Music deepens gently. Imagine this, a love where you don't have to chase, where silence doesn't mean anxiety, where you don't feel like you're waiting to be chosen, where you are already chosen by yourself. And from that place, you don't beg for love. You recognize it, or you walk away. That is power. That is wholeness. That is individuation. Music soft piano. So here's what I want you to sit with tonight. If you stripped away the fantasy, the story, the emotional addiction, what is actually left between you and that person? Is it connection, or is it projection? Take a moment. Be honest, because your answer will determine the direction of your life from here. Music fades slowly, and if you're standing at that edge right now, between who you were and who you're becoming, just know this: confusion is part of awakening, letting go is part of becoming, and walking away is sometimes the most powerful form of self-love you will ever practice. Music fades out completely, but here's something even deeper, something Jung hinted at, but most people are afraid to face. Healing doesn't feel like relief at first. It feels like loss. Loss of illusion, loss of intensity, loss of the version of love that kept you awake at night, made your heart race, made you feel alive. Because when you stop projecting, you stop feeling that extreme high, and for a moment, everything becomes quiet, too quiet. And this is where many people go back to the chaos, back to the familiar pain, because at least it feels like something. But here's the truth you need to hear. Peace can feel unfamiliar when your nervous system is used to survival. Let that sink in. Music slowly builds. You were never too much. You were never too emotional. You were just trying to love from a place that was never fully seen. And now, for the first time, you're learning how to see yourself, not through someone else's eyes, not through who you think you need to be, but as you are, whole, even in your brokenness, especially in your brokenness, because Jung believed the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And becoming isn't about adding more. It's about removing the illusions, the projections, the identities you built just to be loved. Music pause. So if you find yourself letting go of someone right now, and it hurts, good. Not because pain is the goal,